It's our final day in Corpus Christi, and we're joined, as we are every Sunday, by the manager of the RoughRiders, Steve Buechele. Steve, last night got away from you early. Perez in his second rehab start. It didn't look like he was necessarily throwing the ball poorly. What did you see from him?
I think from my perspective, it was almost like he was trying to get a feel while he was out there and wasn't letting it go. The ball was getting to the plate, and it didn't have that late life like he normally has, and I think they were able to put some pretty good swings on it. Is that normal for a rehab? Yeah, I think so, just trying to get yourself back. It's only his second start. So all in all, he got his pitches in. The results and what he has surrendered weren't great or what he wanted, but he got his work in, and we'll move on.
He's expected to go up to AAA. Right now, there's essentially two holes in the rotation, with Tufts getting another start, and then after that, who knows? Are you just taking a wait-and-see approach to find out what pieces you get here over the next week and beyond?
Absolutely, that's what you always do. You hear things sometimes of what's in the pipeline or what might be being thought about at the time, but until something's said, until I get a phone call and know exactly what's going on, I just try to deal with every day and what we have here.
You've been a manager for several years. Is that difficult to do, at least at the start, when you're trying to plan things out, you're trying to have some control over the way things go for a team, and not really knowing? Is that difficult?
Not really. I think it's the nature of minor league baseball. You guys get hurt, guys get moved. The team that you start with isn't going to be the team that you finish with. The team you start with isn't going to be the same team you had a month into the season. Changes are going to be made, and you prepare for that, and you're ready for it. And hopefully the guys are moving in the right direction during the season. But no, there's nothing you can do about it, and it really doesn't bother me.
Over the last week or so, the bullpen has been a little bit leaky, and there was going to be some regression to the norm. Guys aren't going to have a combined ERA of 1 all season, but maybe it's been exacerbated a bit by the workload that they've been put under. Is that something that you've seen?
Yeah, maybe. If there's no way they were going to be that great, and I didn't even say good, they were great. They weren't going to be that great all the time, and the nature of the game says you're going to struggle a little bit. And if this is the little low for our bullpen right now, we'll take it and we'll get through it, because those guys will get back to being the way they were.
Here with Steve Buechele. A couple of days ago, you had the opportunity to make your big league coaching debut in the first base coach's box in Houston. Tell me about that experience.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a quick turnaround. There's two early morning flights, but certainly nice to be with the big club just for one night and coach first, which is something I don't get to do other than maybe spring training. So I had a blast. It was a very nice experience.
Players always talk about when they come down from the big leagues, it's the same game, it's just a little bit of a different scale. Is it the same deal coaching?
Well, your jobs are the same, I would say. Yeah, and going from third to first is a completely different thing. They're two different animals, but the game's the same. But I think they're a little more polished and more intricate, and pay a little bit more attention to detail, I think, up in the big leagues. And obviously they have more information at their hands than we do, and so there are differences. But I guess overall it is the same game, and the job is the same.
You've told me in the past that it would be a goal for you to end up on a big league coaching staff at some point in the future. Did that experience help reaffirm that desire?
I don't think I needed that to reaffirm it. It's something that I would like to do, just like the players that are here want to get to the big leagues, and I'd like to get back on a big league staff to some extent. Now, to be able to go up and do it with the Rangers, which is the team I grew up and live in the city, so it was fun. But it didn't reaffirm it, but it makes you realize how nice it is, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had the opportunity to interview for the managerial post with the Colorado Rockies that ultimately went to Walt Weiss in the offseason. What was that experience like, and how did that all go down from the point where you were the person that was being reached out to going out for the interview?
I still don't know how it all went down and how my name came across Dan O'Dowd's desk. He's the GM and who I spoke with. I know it was late in the process, and they had pretty much narrowed their choices down to a couple guys, and we spent an hour talking. The experience was great. It was the first interview I had done for a big league job, and I had a blast. But it's the first time I ever was able to do it, and it got my name out there, which was kind of a nice thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, today is Mother's Day. We've talked about your mother and your experience with baseball in the past. Is there anything that you would like to say to your mother or the mothers out there?
Well, to all the mothers out there, for sure, happy Mother's Day. My mother is actually in Switzerland right now. She's on a little 5-week vacation going back to her hometown and spending time with her family. So unless you guys reach across to Europe, but certainly I have called her and left a message with her. Happy Mother's Day. But to all the moms out there, for sure, happy Mother's Day.
Well, we are on the internet, so she can get us worldwide, even over in Switzerland.
She's more low tech than I am, so I don't even know if she has access to that. But no, I'm sure she's having a great time.
Well, we echo the thoughts. Happy Mother's Day. Steve, thanks a lot for the time.
All right, Alex, thanks.
That's Steve Buechele. We're back after this on the RoughRiders Baseball Network.